events occurred on a Sunday morning. My prophetic word to you this morning is get ready! Get ready!
Pure energy. Pure energy.
So remember at the beginning of this year when there was all that hype about bird flu and vaccinating all the chickens and getting rid of private chickens, and haven't really heard much about that lately, have you? But look at this. Went to the grocery store today. Started seeing something new on all of the chicken. 2 different stores actually. This is just some of the chicken that I bought. But I find this interesting, and yeah, it looks good. Just wonder what's going on. But remember all the fear? I do. Love you guys. Here you go.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture issued a conditional license for an avian flu vaccine. It would be used in chickens amid an outbreaking ravaging poultry flocks, contributing to the rising price of eggs. Historically, vaccination has been thought to carry a number of complications, including making it difficult to detect the virus in inoculated birds and trade concerns that may result from that.
Meantime, the U.S. Department of Agriculture issued a conditional license for an avian flu vaccine. It would be used in chickens amid an outbreak hitting poultry flocks, contributing to the rising price of eggs. Now, over the last 30 days, 151 flocks have been confirmed to have avian flu, which then affects more than 23 million birds, according to the Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service. Now, more than 150 million birds have been affected since the current outbreak began back in 2022, but the CDC says the risk to the public of getting infected remains low.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture issued a conditional license for an avian flu vaccine to be used on chickens. Over the past 30 days, 151 flocks have been confirmed to have the disease. That's more than 23 million birds. It's hoped the newly approved vaccine will help prevent the impacts of the disease on birds and eventually lower the cost of eggs.
A new vaccine has just been approved to treat chickens ravaged by the bird flu outbreak, but it's only conditional. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, it would be used in chickens amid this outbreak that is really just harming our industry here and contributing to the rising prices of eggs. Over the last 30 days, 151 flocks have been confirmed to have bird flu, and that affects more than 23 million birds. That's according to the Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has issued conditional approval for a bird flu vaccine for use in chickens. The vaccine from manufacturer Zoetis is one of multiple targeting bird flu in poultry. According to the USDA, avian flu has been confirmed in 146 flocks in the past month, affecting more than 20 million birds. 34 million egg-laying hens have been culled since December. Not all those birds necessarily tested positive for avian flu, but were members of a flock where a case was confirmed. And tonight, there's a new approach to fight the bird flu, and it's being considered by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. It issued a conditional license to a company called Zoetis to produce a vaccine for chickens. Zoetis is saying that it plans to update an existing avian flu vaccine for the new variant here, but the USDA still has to give final approval before farmers could administer it. If it does get that approval, this would mark a shift in strategy for the U.S., which is currently choosing to isolate and eradicate affected flocks. More than 150 million birds have been killed since 2022, and we've seen it lead to high egg prices around the There's a new approach to fighting the ongoing bird flu. The Agriculture Department has issued a conditional license to a company to produce a vaccine for chickens. Now, this vaccine maker, Zoetis, is the company previously developed the vaccines for the avian flu to protect California condors back in 2023. Other nations already vaccinate their birds against the virus, but the United States has tried to eradicate avian flu instead. Now, so far, more than 150 million birds have been culled since the latest outbreak in 2022, and that led to
higher prices for eggs and an egg shortage.
We could be getting close to an avian flu vaccine as the virus hits birds across the country. The Agriculture Department has issued a conditional license to a company to produce a bird flu vaccine for chickens. A company spokesman says its scientists began updating its existing avian flu vaccine years ago. More than 150 million birds that were infected or exposed have been killed.
The Agriculture Department has issued a conditional license to a company to produce a bird flu vaccine for chickens. The vaccine maker is Zoetis. A company spokesperson says its scientists began updating its existing avian flu vaccine several years ago. And this comes as the Trump administration officials say they will present the president with a plan to combat avian flu that involves medication that would avoid killing chickens, because more than 150 million birds that were infected or exposed have been killed.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture issued a conditional license for an avian flu vaccine that will be used in chickens amid an outbreak ravaging poultry flocks, contributing to the rising price of eggs. I'm going to break down this vaccine and what it could mean for you. And agriculture industry. The U.S. Department of Agriculture issued a conditional license for an avian flu vaccine. It would be used in chickens amid an outbreak ravaging poultry flocks, contributing to the rising price of eggs. Ivan Rodriguez breaks down what this vaccine could mean for consumers and the agriculture industry. The U.S. Department of Agriculture issued a conditional license for an avian flu vaccine. It would be used in chickens amid an outbreak that is ravaging poultry flocks, contributing to the rising price of eggs. Ivan Rodriguez breaks down what this vaccine could mean for consumers and the agriculture industry. The U.S. Department of Agriculture issued a conditional license for an avian flu vaccine. It would be used in chickens amid an outbreak ravaging poultry flocks, contributing to the rising
of eggs. Ivan Rodriguez breaks down what this vaccine could mean for consumers and the agriculture industry.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture issuing a conditional license for an avian flu vaccine.
It would be used in chickens to protect against the current outbreak that's affecting poultry, and that in turn has driven up the price of eggs.
Ivan Rodriguez breaks down what this vaccine could mean for consumers and the agriculture industry.
If you've been to a supermarket in the last few weeks, you've noticed that not only are eggs increasingly expensive, they're also becoming harder and harder to find.
Dr. Jonathan Reiner with George Washington University School of Medicine and Health Sciences says the U.S. has a decision to make.
Whether to vaccinate the flocks in this country and deal with the political repercussions of that from the GOP base, or deal with rising egg prices and maybe eggs coming in from Mexico.
While other countries already vaccinate chickens against bird flu, the U.S. approach has long been focused on eradicating the virus, mainly through culling flocks of birds when a case is identified. Historically, vaccination has been thought to carry a number of complications, including making it difficult to detect the virus in inoculated birds and trade concerns that may result from that. Over the last 30 days, 151 flocks have been confirmed to have avian flu, affecting more than 23 million birds, according to the Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service, part of the USDA. Dr. Paul Offit says people could also become sick.
And certainly it can infect people who come in close contact with chickens and inhale a lot of the virus into their lower respiratory tract, their lungs.
Zoetis, the manufacturer behind the vaccine, says its scientists began updating its existing avian flu vaccine in 2022. In a statement, Zoetis noted the decision to vaccinate commercial poultry flocks rests solely with the national regulatory authorities in consultation with their local poultry sector. In Atlanta, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Trump administration officials are expected to present the president with a plan to combat the bird flu sometime next week. The virus continues to spread among wild birds and commercial flocks. Now, as we know, that has sent egg prices soaring. But the new plan could include the possibility of a push to vaccinate birds against the virus.
In the U.S., more than 162 million birds have been affected by avian influenza in the past 2 years.
Either infected or killed to prevent the spread. While some other countries already vaccinate chickens against bird flu, the U.S. is focused on eradicating the virus by culling flocks of birds when a case is identified. Why not vaccinate flocks instead? The primary reason is trade. The vaccine can make it more difficult to detect the virus in birds that do become infected. And many U.S. trade agreements specifically prohibit exporting birds vaccinated for bird flu out of concern for spreading virus to other countries. But just the last 30 days, 151 flocks have been confirmed to have avian flu, affecting more than 23 million birds.
Experts say the U.S. has a decision to make.
If you've been to a supermarket in the last few weeks,
The virus is also spreading in dairy cows and numerous other mammals. And while the overall risk to humans remains low,
and certainly it can infect people who come in close contact with chickens and inhale a lot of the virus into their lower respiratory tract, their lungs.
And certainly it can infect people who come in close contact with chickens and inhale a lot of the virus into their lower respiratory tract, their lungs.
poultry in the U.S. are vaccinated for several diseases already, including salmonella and bronchitis. Some vaccines are given through the bird's water supply. Others are sprayed in the air or given as injections.
Some vaccines are given through the bird's water supply. Others are sprayed in the air or given as injections.
Sprayed in the air or given as injections. Sprayed in the air or given as injections.
Now, as we know, that has sent egg prices soaring. Consumers are feeling the pressure at the grocery store as bird flu has caused egg prices to skyrocket. National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett joined Face the Nation and shared the Trump administration's plan to tackle this.
But the price of eggs has jumped more than 15% in the past month alone after this bird flu outbreak just dramatically lowered supplies. Nancy Chen shows how consumers are now trying to look for some alternatives, including bringing chickens into their own backyards.
Each week, they seem to go even higher.
We know that egg prices are still sky high.
Leading the rise in grocery prices are eggs.
Those soaring egg prices. Well, if you've been paying more for eggs recently, you have the bird flu to thank for the price increase, according to egg producers.
But scientists, they are fighting back. CBS 58's Frank Healy spoke with them today about what they're working on. Frank, what'd you learn?
Well, I'm out here at the riverfront where geese typically are, but they were all chased away by a dog a moment ago, because that's what they're saying is spreading this bird flu, migratory birds like those geese. They say tens of thousands of birds have had to be culled up until now, and farmers say that's what's affecting egg prices, and if it continues, could even start affecting meat prices, which is why UW-Madison scientists are looking for a solution.
Yeah, knock on wood. We've been doing okay in Wisconsin. We've had 2 outbreaks now.
UW-Madison Extension poultry specialist Ron Kane says one major egg operation and 1 backyard flock have already been infected here in Wisconsin. Nick Lewandowski, the state's Poultry and Egg Industry Association president, says everyone is holding their breath.
Kind of sitting on the edge of our seat here, kind of wondering when the next, announcement is going to come.